Let's talk about some of the security safeguards that PowerShell has built into it. First of all, PowerShell does not bypass the UAC, or the user access control, or user account control. The UAC is that thing that pops up when you try to install a program or change something in the system that says, are you sure you want to do this? What's actually going on is, if you're an administrator, you're actually running as a user, and then when you want to do something that will change the way the system works, like install a program, then you have to actively elevate to administrative privileges in order to do that. That is that little UAC, that pop-up is the user account control. PowerShell does not bypass Windows security permissions. In other words, if you are just a user and not an administrator, you cannot do administrative stuff on PowerShell. PowerShell scripts cannot just be run by clicking them. And we're going to, when you get over here to running PS1 scripts, Don Jones in this little video will talk about that a little bit more. PowerShell will not run scripts by default unless you administratively turn that ability on. Again, when we get to this video down here, again by Don Jones, and on the execution policy, you will also talk about that a little bit there. Some things that he does not talk about in these videos: PowerShell 5.1 and later has a lot of default logging going on. So that doesn't help stop crime, but if somebody does do stuff, there's a lot of logging that's going on under the hood that allows you to better analyze that. There's also a feature, it's an add-on called Just Enough Administration, or JEA, or sometimes pronounced GIA. So GIA is this Microsoft implementation of something we often call in the security field the principle of least privilege. So the principle of least privilege says a person should only have the privilege to do something that they are allowed to do. So you shouldn't have users having admin privilege, for example. In this case, it's for administrators, to only give administrators the privileges to do what they should be able to do. And you should have to go through some extra steps as an administrator in order to do stuff that you shouldn't be normally doing, to really change something significant. And so this add-on is a way to do that. One thing it can do, for example, is allow a certain amount of time to perform a certain function. So that's part of the JEA. There's another thing called desired state configuration, DSC. Desired state configuration it's a bit of a bear to set up, but the idea of it is that you can ask PowerShell to check on a computer periodically and make sure that servers particularly, and make sure the servers are set up and in the way that you want them to be set up. They have the security policies, the group policies, all the things in place the way you want them. And so once you have a server running exactly like you want it to run, you can set this desired state configuration. And if anything changes in that server, either maliciously or by accident, it can correct it. Or something else it can do is just shut that server down, completely take it offline, and spin up another server. We have a revolution going on in the way we do servers today. We used to treat them like a dog instead of a cow. What do I mean by that? Well, if a dog gets sick, you take it to the vet, you spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on this dog because it's your pet. You love this pet and you take care of this pet. That's the way we used to deal with servers. Today, servers are kind of disposable things. If it gets sick, you shoot it and get another one, and that's exactly the way you do with a cow, right? That's exactly what we're talking about here. If somebody penetrates a server, then shut that server down, spin up another one, use desired state configuration to get it into the state you want it, and then continue running. And that's the way that we could keep things running in today's environments.